I'm Sarah Thielen. I'm a horticulturist and landscape designer, and today we're going to talk to you about planting annual beds. Let's start with the layout. I like to get things sort of generally laid out first, and then I'll go back and measure and get it dialed in. I'm going to use the begonias in the front because they stay a little shorter than the lantana that I'm going to use behind them. I just sort of set them the best that I can on top of the soil. I want my lantana to look like an arch, so I'm going to move that just a little. I chose these ornamental grasses to give a little height on the edge of the sign. I didn't want to get anything so tall that it would block the wording on the sign. I just do a little trio here on the side. Now I'm going to measure to get a good idea what my spacing needs to be. These lantanas can grow 12 to 18 inches wide. I'm going to place them at about 12 inches wide here, and I measure from center of the plant to center of the plant. That's 12 inches. These begonias can grow 10 to 12 inches wide, and so I'm going to place them at about 10 inches wide from each other. And I also like to stagger them. Staggering means you don't just have perfect rows one behind the other. It's where you have one here, and then one sort of in the middle behind it. And that's so that it'll grow in nice and evenly and you don't end up with rows. Once you get a few, typically you can eyeball the rest. There, I think that looks pretty good. Now that we have it all laid out, it's time to start planting. In soil that's been previously prepared, it should be pretty easy to do. So I'll just use my trowel to plant all of these smaller plants. The first thing you do is pick up your plant and you pull it out of the plastic container. These plants are already fairly loose, so I don't need to do much else to them. Just dig a nice hole here, and you want to make sure you plant even with the top of the soil. Don't cover the crown, just pull the soil up around the plant. And then I just continue in a nice pattern throughout the bed. This one I might need to tease the roots a little. Place the plant even with the soil, level, and pull the soil around the plant. These are a little bit more root bound, and what I mean by root bound is there's a lot of roots and they're circling. So we really want to be careful to loosen the roots on these. That will help getting the roots to grow outward rather than in that circling pattern. Now that we have our bed planted, we want to fertilize.